speech, and we are going to focus about the reported speech in which we make changes in pronouns. Now, every time when we convert a direct speech into indirect speech or an indirect speech into direct speech, it is very essential to focus on one particular point, that we make changes in pronouns according to the requirements. That means that the first and second person changes to some other person depending upon the statement that we make. Now, for example, I say first person. Now, if first person is the speaker, now here I am considering about the direct speech. So if the first person is the speaker, then for indirect speech, that first person will be considered to be the third person when we are talking about. So the first person is the speaker in direct speech, but in indirect speech, it will change to the third person. So the first person changes to third person, which means that the speaker of the statement changes, the pronoun changes to the person, to another person, and that depends upon the sentence. For example, I say, I accept my mistake admitted Rohan. I accept my mistake admitted Rohan. Now here, my is for Rohan, and this is my direct speech. But now I want to convert my speech into indirect, right? And for indirect, I will say Rohan accepted that it was, now instead of my is first person, the first person changes to third. So for Rohan, we know is a male, and for male, my will change to his, that it was his mistake. So now the pronoun has changed according to the correctness of the sentence and according to the right meaning of the sentence. I will not say it was her mistake. Yeah, it was my mistake. That both of these are wrong. I know that Rohan is male. For male, my will change to his. Another example can be, Sheena said, I have to go to party. Sheena said, I have to go to party. Now we know that Sheena is a female. And while converting from direct speech to indirect, we know that the pronouns will also change. So now I over here will change to she. Why? Because Sheena is a female, and for female I changes to she as a third person. So Sheena said that she, now this is present perfect changes to past perfect. She had to go to party. So in both the sentences we notice that the pronoun in direct speech is different from the pronoun in indirect speech, because while converting from one speech to another, our pronouns will also change accordingly. Another thing that we need to keep in mind is that for changing the first person, we should always remember that the first person pronoun changes according to the subject of the reporting verb. First person pronoun changes according to the subject of the reporting verb. And the second person pronoun changes according to the object of the reporting verb. So for first person, the change will be according to the subject, and for second person, the change will be according to the object of the reporting verb. And for third person, as I said, there will be no change. Changes will be only for first person and for second person. Whenever the direct speech or an indirect speech is in third person and we want to convert that speech to other form, then that third person will remain the same. Third person is he, she, it, they. This is my third person cases, and they will always remain the same either in direct speech or in indirect speech. Now, next we are going to discuss about types of pronouns. Now, types of pronouns in this case, in case of reported speech, we are talking about is first person, second person, and third person. Right? There is no fourth person that we can talk about. Only first person, second person, and third person. Type of pronoun here, we are just talking about the possessive pronoun. So, the first case is a nominative case. Second case is the objective case. The third case is of possessive adjective. And next we are going to talk about possessive pronoun. So these are the cases which we are going to talk about. So first let us consider the first person. The first person will be I. I am the first person. I'll think about the other as second and third. But when I'm talking about myself, then I consider myself as the first person. So for nominative, it will be I. For objective, I changes to my. I over here will change to my. For possessive adjective, it will change to mine. Sorry, for objective, I will change to me. Sorry, my bad. For nominative, it is I. For objective, it is me. For possessive adjective, Possessive adjective is my. This is my pen. So whose pen is that? Mine. The noun is being described. So my. This is my classroom. This is my video. So my, the describing words for nouns. So that describing word for the first person will be mine. And for possessive pronoun, it will be mine. So I is a nominative case. Then the objective case for I is me. The possessive adjective for I is mine. And the possessive pronoun for I is mine. Now, this was for the first person. For the second person, I will become he. Right? Now, I'm talking about myself. I am a female. So first I'll talk about she. Let us say she. Right? Consider a female. So the nominative case for female will be she. Then the objective case will be her. The possessive adjective. I said this is my classroom. Now if a female says and you're talking in indirect form, this is my classroom will change to this is her classroom. And again a classroom is being described as somebody's classroom, so it will be her classroom. So for second person, the objective and the possessive adjective will remain the same, but there will be change in possessive pronoun as possessive pronoun will change to hers. I will say this classroom is hers. This is her classroom is referred to as possessive adjective and this classroom is hers. There hers become the possessive pronoun. Similarly, for he, now suppose that person, the first person is a male. So for male it will be he. Then the objective case will be his. Then I say this is his classroom. Again his. And this classroom is his. Again his. Then let's talk about the third person. Third person can be they. The objective case will be their. The possessive adjective, this is their classroom. So, their. But if I want to change it into a possessive pronoun, so for changing into possessive pronoun, their will change to theirs. So, the classroom is theirs. Now, I say that for third person, there is no change. Example over here can be Manju said they will not accompany us. Manju said they will not accompany us. Now this is my direct speech, right? And they is referred to as a third person. If I want to change this into indirect form, I will say Manju said that. Now they will not change to he or their or theirs. They will remain they. Manju said that they will changes to would not accompany us. So my third person indirect speech was they And my third person for the indirect speech is also they, which means that in both the cases there is no change. They will remain they. I will say Manju said their mood was not happy. Right? Again I will say Manju said that their mood was not happy. It will not change to theirs. It will not change to anything. So for the third person, whatever case we are mentioning indirect speech, the same case will be provided for indirect speech as well. But if I say like the teacher said, I will take the test tomorrow. Now in this case, I is the first person and here I will change to the second person, right? So I will change to the second person and it will be the teacher said that. Now teacher over here can be a male or a female, right? So he or we can say she would take test tomorrow. The test. So in this case, it will change, right? Correct. Here, for the second person, it can also be we. We changes in objective to us. For possessive adjective, it is our. And for possessive pronoun, it will be ours. I forgot to mention this. This is the second person. Second person can be she, he, we. We in objective case changes to us. In possessive adjective, it is our. And for possessive pronoun, it is ours. This is our classroom. This classroom is ours. This is his classroom. The classroom is his. This is her classroom. The classroom is hers. This is my classroom. The classroom is mine. Now one important point is that whenever we are converting a direct speech into indirect speech, we will always make use of the word that. That is used for converting direct speech. We make use of that to convert it into indirect speech. So direct speech changes into indirect speech with the usage of that. That is not used in just one case. That case is of interrogative sentences. Exception is that is not used for interrogative sentences. So whenever we are converting a direct interrogative sentence to an indirect form, in that case that is not used, and leaving this case, in rest all the cases we make use of that. Example can be the teacher announced tomorrow is a holiday. The teacher announced tomorrow is a holiday. This will change in indirect form as the teacher The next day is a holiday. Because tomorrow changes to the next day. Tomorrow will not remain tomorrow in indirect speech. Indirect speech, if it is tomorrow, in indirect form, it will change to the next day. So the main focus is that we do not make use of inverted commas, we eliminate commas, and instead we make use of the word that while converting into indirect speech. Now, another important thing is that basically we are certain about the tenses that we are speaking of. But when we are uncertain about the tense, in that case we will be making use of present tense. In that case, we will make use of present tense, and rest the conversion of pronouns and everything will remain the same. The usage of that will be there if it is not an interrogative sentence. Only the thing is that the tense will be the present tense. For example, Meena says, I am not feeling well. Now here Meena says, now I don't know that whether she's talking about right now or anything. It's just I'm not sure about the tense. I'm uncertain about the tense. So in that case I said that I will be making use of present tense. So I say that Meena says that she is not feeling well. Because I cannot say Meena says that she was not feeling well. No. If it is says, then this will also remain the same. So Meena says that she is not feeling well. So in this video, we discussed about reported speech. Reported speech are of two forms. First, it can be direct speech or it can be indirect speech. Direct speech is when a first person or a second person itself is talking, right? And indirect speech is when you convert that into second person or the third person according to the statement that we are talking about. Now, in this particular section, we talked about the changes in pronouns. Then we further talked about the type of possessive pronoun. It can be nominative, objective, possessive adjective or possessive pronoun, and it changes according to the usage of pronoun in the sentences.